It's very difficult to get a gauge on overall sentiment. I get to see, all the comments on YouTube, I get to see comments on Twitter, and it's really tough to gauge where everybody's headspace is at. But I think for the most part, people are actually very confident with what's happening with Cardano and ADA. And in fact, what we just found is that it ranks higher globally in terms of sentiment than the other top 10 assets in crypto. And I want to talk about this list and just kind of show you guys where ADA is at, but I do want to also address this 130% move that we were talking about, because I have a troll that keeps trying to say, oh, win 130%. And we do need to talk about some timelines in terms of this. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So the day has kind of started. We're getting a little bit of selling, not much. It's just kind of slight ups and downs for the day. And hopefully I would actually take a very tempered day today, but we'll kind of see where things are going to head as time goes on. And we'll get more into price as this video moves on. But I did want to show everybody that the negative comments that we're seeing around the space might not be what the actual sentiment is regarding assets. And why I'm saying that is, first of all, you'd probably see a big shift in holders the opposite direction. That hasn't really been happening for Cardano in this cycle. In fact, we've continued to set new highs in terms of holders. And what that is showing us is that people have a lot of confidence in what Cardano is building for the future. I have a lot of confidence in what Cardano is building for the future. And in fact, what we just found is that right now, Cardano actually ranks higher globally than Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, any of those assets that you normally see in the top 10, right? In fact, of the top of all assets in crypto, it actually ranks number 5, only being passed by Jasmy, Injective, Jupiter, and Virtuals. Now, this obviously isn't an indication of, performance or anything like that. Just to give you guys a little context, I actually own that one, and obviously ADA then as well. So I actually own 7 of these top 10. So I'm happy to see that the sentiment is high on all these, but you can't help but get the feeling that Cardano is doing some pretty big things. Like we've talked about in other videos, there have been massive developments that have been going on in the Cardano blockchain. There are huge partnerships either already being put into place or discussions that are currently ongoing. I mean, there are big shifts right now that people just kind of maybe catch the second that they happen, but then they kind of roll off their back and they forget about them. And I would say Cardano has been probably the most active blockchain in all of crypto as of late. Big overhauls in terms of the chain, obviously the partnerships like we talked about, these are all really good things. And this is right this is right at a time where we're actually starting to see traction increase. First of all, I did want to show you guys, we actually just hit the highest level of crypto search traffic back on the 22nd that we have seen since all the way back in the early part of March. March was obviously very lively because we had the announcements surrounding the strategic crypto reserve. So you are starting to see people pay attention more and more. Now, obviously yesterday we did see a drop because of the red in the market, because of the red kind of everywhere. Obviously there was a big overshadowing that was going on at that time. And today, of course, things have started just kind of on a lower note because one, we don't have all the data from today yet. It's only 7:22 a.m. Central Standard Time, but 2, it's the weekend. I would expect weekends to be a little bit lower in terms of search traffic. Now, what we're also seeing too is actually bullish divergence for altcoins. So this is actually the crypto total market cap, excluding the top 10 dominance. And you guys can see some bullish divergence taking place there. So this is a very promising sign. And remember, what people need to know is that we go through these phases to get to alt season, right? We go through Bitcoin season where Bitcoin dominance is high. It's leading the way. Then Ethereum starts moving, which we have in fact been seeing. Then it flows into the top 10 assets like ADA. That's where it can make some significant moves. And then the shit just rolls downhill, right? Then you see some of these lower cap alts make up some significant ground. And actually, I think that is, again, where ADA's got this kind of overlap where it can do really well in phase 3 and phase 4. So those are some very exciting signs. Now, what I did want to show for ADA is we talked about this golden cross. This historically has led to some pretty significant moves in terms of price. In fact, our last 2 moves have led to about 130% pumps both times. The most recent one that we had was actually all the way back here on, what was that, November 13th, somewhere in that range. And what this led us on was a 134% pump over the course of 20 days. All right. Now understand that when it triggered, it didn't go right away. and we were already in the midst of a pump. ADA's in a little bit different of a spot structure wise, because we're doing this slow stepping motion that was basically this huge acceleration into a golden cross, but it did take place in a very short period of time nonetheless. Looking back at ADA's prior golden cross, this is where we were starting to see something very similar to what we're doing now. All right. So at that time when ADA did in fact get its golden cross, it took 122 days for us to pump 130%. Do I think it's going to be that long? No. There is higher optics. We're not just coming out of a bear market cycle. We've been in an uptrend for a little bit here. So again, a little bit different structurally speaking. Okay. So what this did was actually ADA traded sideways for probably about 18 days or so before we decided to take off. It has now been, oh gosh, I wish I'd done all this math before for you guys. It has now been only 10 days. 10 days since ADA got its golden cross. So we're very quickly accelerating towards these times where ADA can in fact make its bigger moves. Again, we have had our altcoin golden cross. We have had our Bitcoin golden cross. Both of those have led to some pretty significant pumps shortly after that. Altcoin golden crosses within 30 days. We typically start these big runs. Bitcoin golden crosses, even less time than that. So again, like we talked about the other day, we're kind of in this window. And what this actually feels more like was ADA's golden cross that took place early in 2020. So this actually happened back on May 20th of 2020. And what we saw was ADA actually run 200% in 71 days. So this actually feels very close to what ADA is about to mimic. I would say that right now, on a fundamental level, we're kind of perfectly set up across the crypto space for some pretty significant pumps. Obviously, like we've talked about, there's enough short interest in the way for us to create some of these big liquidations. I mean, everything's kind of, playing out perfectly. And, for the trolls and the haters and whatever, well, guess what? It doesn't work on your timeline. The charts just move whenever the hell they want. We can see what they want to do. We can see what they're trying to do, but they will move when they're ready. And what this might mean is that, these 130% pumps, they could be days away, they could be weeks away, they could be several months away. But either way, we can feel that the market is building to this big blowout. We're building towards adoption, right? All the data is starting to really support some of these big moves that we're seeing. And there's not a lot of bearish things, to be honest with you guys, that are appearing anywhere. So appreciate you guys as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. When do you think ADA is going to make this 130% move? I don't think we have to wait much longer at all. So have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.